Welcome to the Synergy Podcast, the space where we redefine how we move, heal, and experience our bodies. My name is Arianna Montanari, a yoga teacher, soap maker, and beekeeper, and really advocate for a pain-free life driven by pleasure. Here, we break free from the unspoken rules that tell us how we should look, how we should move and feel. And through intuitive movement, self-care, and deeper connection with nature, we explore what it truly means to live without tension, pain, or limitations. So whether you're a yogi, a seeker, or simply curious about stepping into a more liberated way of living, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome to this new episode of the Synergy Podcast. My name is Arianna Montanari, and today we have Lucy Ellis connecting with us. Welcome, Lucy.
Welcome, Arianna. It's so lovely to be connected with you again after what feels like ages, but it was only we've just realized maybe a month ago that we haven't last spoken or been in the same container together. So, yeah, you're on the other side of the world, but I love watching you on Instagram and seeing what you're up to. You're so wholesome.
Thank you, Lucy. Lucy and I were in the same coaching container for business women and soul-led women. Last time we were in the same container was about a month ago. And while you were saying these words, it's so beautiful how nowadays we can connect. I've never met you in person, but still I feel just this genuine connection for the person you are, like with the person you were. Beautiful. Lucy, you are a psychotherapist with over 17 years of experience. And you've been sitting with women mostly and leading them back to themselves, leading them back to connection and really back to love, like the core of it. And I would like to ask you something. And this is a question that I ask to all the guests to kind of let us know where you are at in your life right now. What's alive within you, with you, around you? What is something that you're really working on at this point in your life?
Gee, this is a beautiful question because it, of course, would have elements of my work involved in it. But what I'm personally working with is always and forever the relationship that I have with myself and my family and everybody um, around me, even if it's somebody that I'm walking past that I don't even know, and how I can be feel at ease and be an anchor of light or positivity, and how I can work with, because I'm a very emotional person. So I feel very deeply and I'm very, very sensitive. And I think in my younger years, I would have experiences and I would be reactionary. So when we talk about fight, flight, fawn, etc., I would be the aggressor. I'm the fighter. I'm going to fight you on that. How dare somebody cut me off? How dare somebody come in line with me? How dare my children say that to me? How dare my husband think that? I'm going to go into combat very quickly. And, it was to preserve the little one in me that was really super, super highly sensitive. And now it's about being able to not be reactionary to the behavior that's there in front of me, to stay connected with myself and to stay connected with the other in love. I'm just always, always working with the frequency of love. Yeah.
I got like goosebumps while you said that, to stay connected to yourself and to the person. And it's so interesting for me to hear this, because when I think of you, when I see you, for me, you are joy. Your smile, that it's so contagious, and there is that sparkle in your eyes that it feels like You are this being of light. You're just so joyful. And so it's interesting to hear about this reactionary side of you that you would get, like the aggressor. The
Mm.
our personality, how it can shift both according to situation, but also over time. And so I would like to go back to staying connected and connection. So throughout your almost 2 decades, so both of professional experience, but also personal experience, because I think they go really tight hand in hand. What is connection for you? And what does it mean, like in practical terms, to stay connected to yourself and to the others?
Mm, this is good. This is so
Mm.
good. One of the things my husband would always say to me, I don't know what more you want, because I'd always be like, connection. I need more connection. And he'd be like, what does that even mean? I'm here. Here. I'm right here in front of you. What more do you need from me? So I got really good at explaining it. So I should be able to explain this very well with you. I think first of all, we have to understand what's happening for us, what's happening in our body at the time when we're relating with somebody. So obviously when it's good, it's easy and we know that our body, we're feeling connected and we're being able to express ourselves well. But when things are a little bit more of a challenge and we need to be aware of what's happening with us. What are the sensations that I'm feeling? What are the emotions? What are the stories that are coming up that I'm telling myself? And how can I stay connected with what's true for me? There's a lot, like it's complex. This emotional intelligence stuff is not easy. It's not a walk in the park, and it's certainly something that requires a long time of staying and inquiring and being curious about what's happening for me. Once we can understand that this is a yearning or this is a desire or this is something that I need or it's a small part that just needs my love, then we can support that part of us potentially. But in relationship, to stay connected is to see the other almost as a mirror of you, and whatever that is happening for them is also happening inside of you. So how would and also seeing that the challenge that is being presented in the other person is the little part of them. It's a in maybe an injured part of them. And so if what's happening outside of me is also happening inside of me, I can look with love to this person, and through staying connected to myself, but through giving love here to this other person, I'm also staying connected with myself because it's what's happening on the outside is happening on the inside. It's that law of oneness. And yeah, and that feels so nourishing. Instead of looking at their behavior and jumping on that, seeing really what does this person need? Because we know as well that when we need love the most, we show it in the most ugly ways. Like it's yucky the way we carry on when we really need love. And so it's being able to see that this ugliness just needs my love right now. And by me showing it love and giving it love, I'm also it makes you feel like $1,000,000. It makes you feel so connected with yourself, so gooey, but also not easy. Yeah. It's a practice. A bit like
Why? Go ahead. Go ahead. Then I have a follow-up question.
I was just saying it's a bit like a practice when you get on the yoga mat for the first time. You're not flowing, your body's not moving, stretching, being able to reach certain expressions of itself. But if you keep showing up to the mat, it gets better, it gets easier.
Yeah, showing up to the mat and showing up for yourself too. That's like so.
Yes.
My follow-up question was, why does it get ugly? Why do we go into this ugliness of craving love? Can you go deeper on that?
Yeah. Well, that's, I suppose, the reaction to wanting to protect a really hurt part of us. I think it's very unconscious. I think it's survival. And I don't think it's something that we're even filtering through. And afterwards, we feel even more horrible and more isolated. If I'm really wanting love or to be seen or to be acknowledged or something like that, I've got nothing in here. I'm lacking. I feel like I'm lacking. So then I will want it, but the way in which I'm expressing more my lack of being seen, being acknowledged. And then we get more not being acknowledged and not being seen. And yeah, just
Totally. So
further
it's more like focusing more on the lack rather than focusing on
connection.
like connection, because that's how you nourish the love.
Mm, yeah,
Can we say that?
that's right. I think there are many ways in which we get love.
Mhm.
There's love supplies everywhere.
Love supplies everywhere. I love this.
Exactly. You can make yourself a salad of love and you can go and pick a little bit over here and a little bit over there. And that's what we do when we're connecting with ourselves. So first of all, the best source or not the best source. They're all beautiful ingredients of love, but one of the good ones is Mother Nature.
Mm.
It doesn't take much to connect with the love of her through her beauty everywhere.
Yeah,
That is the way, but we have to be, like you say, showing up on the mat, showing up to yourself. You don't just show up on the mat to say, tick, done it, done my yoga. We show up. We watch in awe. We take notice of her. We take notice of what's happening with the season changes, etc. We are present to it. That's how we drink up the love supply from it. And other ways from our parents and our ancestors, and our culture, our community, and ourselves for our little one, our adult self for our little one. And then we get a love supply from the people that are come after our parents. So maybe siblings, maybe a partner, maybe friends. And of course, there is the love supply from our children. But yeah, I have something to say about that love supply. I think some mums go, "Oh, children love. I'll just have all the children love." And it's like, "No, no, no, no. That's not the right order. The right order is first all of these people and all of these relationships because the children love are just the cherry on top. They can't make up the whole salad because otherwise that's a burden on the children."
on them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did I answer your question? You said
You
something
did. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you did. You did. And I think I can really see myself in this being reactive in relationships when the other kind of goes into hermit mode, like puts a wall. My usual reaction is to panic because it's like, oh my God, what's going on now? What happens to the love? It is now temporarily not on the plate anymore. And so over the years, I noticed how my own journey has been from the panicking because I was mostly relying on that love outside of myself. And then starting slowly realizing that in those moments of instability, the only way to stay connected to myself and feel better, not go into the black hole of sadness, was to rely on myself, on my own stacks of love, on my own sources of love, and going in and knowing that I am the one who is going to support myself in the first place. So find that stability inside me, find that love, do the things that make me feel good. And that over the years has brought so much safety, really.
Mhm.
So I really see like what you are saying, like nourish
Mm.
yourself, go in first and then.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we mustn't get too independent
Oh no.
because you can always have more of that love. It's about that's exactly right. It's about staying open to
Mm.
love because actually interesting, this was a dynamic that me and my husband were in for many, many years. So
Ah.
he is like this avoidant maybe type
Yes,
that well, he's a manifester. And when I learnt about his human design as a manifester, I was like, okay, right, I
makes
get it.
sense.
Closed aura, and, with all those years of, "I need to feel connected to you." He's like, "What does that even mean? Why can't
Mm.
you just sit here and have dinner with me and, like, I'm here. I'm here." And so I would be like, "Right, well, I don't need you then," and put on a bit of a abrasive kind of response or reaction which would just create more breakdown in the relationship, right? Because now he's getting in trouble for being himself, and now the relationship's, whatever, and we have to talk about it for 155,000 hours before we can recalibrate and get back together, right? And so now, knowing who he is and also continuing to do this work forever and ever and ever and ever, that's right. I am full and I give from a full heart now. So when
Mm.
he's got his closed aura on, I can still love him.
Mm.
I can
'Cause
I
you're
can
not
still
reacting and you're not judging him. It's like this is who he is.
yeah, that's right. He
Yeah,
hasn't taken his love away from me.
exactly.
There's no
Mm.
there's no love that's been taken away. He's here, and so I can and it's incredible, like, his openness back to me is, like it opens very quickly now because I am just so loving. I just shower him with love.
Oh, I have to take notes here.
I'm just like the beacon of love.
Told you.
I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Like, just talk to my children, my husband, talk to anybody. I'm not perfect, but this is what I am working with. Yeah.
That's your
And what I'm
experience.
seeing, I'm seeing
Yeah.
the man that I'm with 25 years that I've been with for 25 years this year is completely different and our relationship is completely
Mm.
different. I like to think it's because of the work that I've done. He says it's because he's the cool guy.
I love this. Let's say it's both.
Right. Does take 2 to tango, hey?
Right. Listen, you named now human design, and I know that you do use human design in your programs and with your clients, and you have also other tools in your toolbox that you use in your containers. They go from creativity tools to dreams and dream imagery and child expression, inner child expression. And somehow the symbolism that our subconscious creates through those means of expression, right? And so these are gigantic topics all together. How do you put them together? So let's start from the surface and then let's see how we can go deeper. But how do you put these together with your clients in your work and maybe in your daily life?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a fantastic, uh, question because it individually, when I'm working individually with somebody,
Mm.
it threads through, the work that they're doing in their unique way, like, so it may look like something completely different to the next client, and how it
Yeah.
threads through. Uh, so I'm always holding I think to begin with, I always start with the inner child,
Right.
the connection with the inner child. because the inner child is so every emotion that we are experiencing as adults, and I always say to my clients, adults don't exist. You know that we are just we are pretending we're adults, but we're not really adults. And we're just a little bit bigger than we were as
Mm.
children. But also every emotion that we're experiencing is an emotion that was imprinted within us with a story when we were younger. And so if we're having emotions that are doing behaviors that we don't want to do and having thoughts that we don't want to have that are self deprecating thoughts, or having these big emotions that are kind of keeping us stuck in our life, then we go, there's a little wounded inner child in there that needs love supply, love supply. And so we work with her, and then I will bring in family constellations work. Yeah. So the connection with, maybe the parents weren't there or they felt lonely as a child. And we bring the parents in, very important work to be able to open our hearts to our parents, because then we can open our heart to our ancestors. But that is the work for the adult. And
Mm.
because it's the child may feel very loyal to the parent, or it could be a disordered love as well. So once we restore the process of their emotion and we restore that attachment with the parent, with the little one, and the big one comes in and supports the little one. So she's just getting bucket loads of love, right? And so then we're talking with the little one about, and what does it feel like now with all this love? And the little one might be like, oh, it just feels like sunlight. Boom. There's a beautiful straight away symbol or something of nature that we can start to use with this client. Sunlight, sunlight. Okay. So, or it feels, or I say, and if you could describe that feeling, what would be an animal or a color that this feeling would have? And they would say, it's like, I'm just seeing, because a lot of my work, a lot of my process work is eyes closed. I'm just seeing dragonflies everywhere, these beautiful blue dragonflies. Boom, there we go. We have symbolism coming through. And so we know that this is going to support the client after the session. We're going to start playing with these images and these symbolisms. And that I get my clients to draw. I get them to get creative with like printing things off the printer. And I really encourage that as a form of integration with what just processed. And they need that time. It's not for anybody. And they hate it. I hate it because they're so, they're like, I can't draw. 'Cause we get into our adult and we
Mhm.
go, "I can't. No, I don't even own texters or
I'm
amounts
not
or
creative.
I'm not creative." It's like, "Oh, yes, you are." And so
Mm.
every time they're doing this, they are connecting with their inner child. They're letting inner child integrate all of this stuff. Yeah, so it's very layered. And then after the process, I ask them to monitor their dreams and see what
Mm.
is coming up for them in their dreams. Because after processes like this, so whether we're doing the family constellations work or the inner child work, they'll always, not always, but there can be some very significant dreams. And then when they bring me their dreams and their dream imagery, and we work with that as well, it deepens this connection with the self even more. And then they can also, once we make a dream image alive, it kind of stays alive in us for years. Like we're
Yeah.
working with that constantly. It's just like supporting us. It's another love supply in a way.
Mm.
Um, and I think human design along the side of that is simply the container what's the word? Like to support
Mhm.
whatever's going on for the client, whatever the inner child is wanting or whatever emotion we've expressed or whatever connection is not there or there, um, we can go back to the human design and I can go, and this is what
Mm,
it says here. This is who you really are. You really are this person, and this is the natural energy of you. So you've been
mm,
over here suffering, doing life like this, and now, like, look what we've got here. And so they then start, you know, connecting the dots with, oh yeah, that is me. And
mm,
then that gives them a little bit more permission to be more themselves
yeah.
and let themselves out more. And yeah, and I usually use hypnosis if we're kind of working on changing the
Mm.
stories and the patterns. Yeah, I'm just making my own salad here, salad of therapy.
Amazing. Oh, this is, I find all these topics so incredibly fascinating. So, for our listeners who are not familiar with human design, could you just mention what it is before we move on?
Yeah. So human design is based on around five different ancient and contemporary modalities. So it has got astrology, Chinese astrology is mixed in there, Kabbalah is mixed in there, the I Ching, the chakra system. So, some of your listeners may understand a few of those concepts, but it's a combination of those. And when you were born, we take the time of your birth and we then know that the moment you were born, you were given an energetic blueprint.
Mm,
And this energetic blueprint is like your unique energy that you live with in your life. And we've all got different there's five basic types, but then it gets even more and more and more nuanced. And we've all got a specific way of being in this life. And it's a pretty incredible, like I had mentioned earlier, our whole relation. I don't think I mentioned it. Did I mention it? My relationship with
Go
my
ahead and
husband.
then we'll see. Depends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, you did.
yeah, because of the manifester. He's a manifester, so he's got a very closed aura. And, for years and years and years, I was trying to make him be more like a generator, like me. And I'm bouncing around like a little bunny rabbit, ready for life, ready to do things. And he has really intense rest periods that he needs to,
Mm,
he's just not go, go, go all the time. So, one of the things that clients find is, especially if they're a non-sacral, so that's not a generator or a manifesting generator. We have a lot of energy moving through us all the time. We have a constant supply to that kind of life force energy. We're here to create. We're the builders of the world, right? But we only if we're doing what we love. But then there are non-sacral types. They don't have consistent energy. And quite often when I'm with a client and they find out that they're a non-sacral, they're a bit confused because they've
mm.
been manufacturing energy all their life because they've been living in a world that's a generator. What are you, Ariana?
So when I learned about this, I was like, I have been fighting through this thing, but yes. So I really see this idea that I can have intense periods, like where I work like a lot, and I also then need an intense period of resting because to balance it out. And so I have noticed how this pattern has been becoming more and more visible over the past years, and I was still trying to fight it or not necessarily feeling ashamed of it, but as you said, we're manufactured to produce, 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 or maybe follow more my menstrual cycle. So when I read this, I was, yeah, actually, this makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to, I can imagine when it's not easy to go. So I just get the party started and then finish it off. I'm not here to do the
Correct.
whole thing.
Exactly.
It's kind of tough to get your head around, isn't it?
It is. And also, like
Yeah.
you said, like a closed aura. And that was also a little bit of a aha moment because again, there are different currents or inbuilt images of myself that I built over the years. And so when you get to read this thing that you know deeply inside, it is so true,
Mm.
but still there are all these layers that I built on top. And it's like, no, but that explains so many things. And so, for instance, I am now in the process of embracing more of that. Yes, I've always felt my whole life that I'm a bit of a lone wolf. I'm not the person who has a lot of friends. I'm not the person who's part of groups. Like I don't know, my brother, he has had the same group of friends since middle school, high school, and they still hang out together. And it's like, how do you do that? At, and somehow I've always felt outside, an outsider. But reading this, it's like, oh, that could be an explanation why I function the way I function.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Somebody once mentioned to me, they gave me the analogy of the manifester was, in the country and western landscape, the manifestors are the outlaws. They're the ones out there that you've got the wanted pay. You're just out there free ranging it, doing your thing, and we're all trying to
I
capture
love
you.
this.
But you work best. You have to be alone because that powerful energy, you're not here to collaborate on that. Like, it's like, I know what I want. I've got to go. I'm going to make the movement happen. And so I think it's a very, I don't want to say too much about Ross's experience, but I know he's a lone wolf too. He's a lone wolf.
Yeah.
He's an outlaw.
Oh, now this picture of the wanted.
Because do you know what? You guys go missing. You bloody well go
Yeah,
missing this all the
yeah,
freaking time.
yeah,
It's like,
guilty.
where is he? Wanted, dead or alive.
Guilty, totally.
How are
And
you with your rest? Oh, sorry.
wait, no, no, go ahead.
How are you with your rest cycles? With your rest? What's your relationship like with rest?
I'm building a relationship with rest now. Like over the past, well, really since I started my journey with the style of yoga, so the synergy, yoga and five-dimensional flow, that's when I discovered rest. That rest was okay and was allowed and very much needed, like brushing teeth. I used to go on full on always, no matter what. And so when I started with yoga synergy, I went to the teacher training. Was a whole vase of Pandora that just opened, both knowledge wise, physiology wise, and learning more about the body, but then learning more about myself. And notice that all the pain, the physical pain that I had in my joints, in my back, headaches, being always tired, was not because of some mysterious reason outside of myself, but it was simply the type of choices that I was doing and not really moving with my body and living with my body, but always against it. Always, come on, let's do more, let's do more, let's do more, and always stretch it too thin.
Mm,
And I, I had never learned really to listen to the signs and the signals of my body and what that meant.
mm,
So the pain, I was like, okay, something is wrong, but what is it? Do I really have? I thought maybe by the age of 40, I will be on a wheelchair. Like I had this type of thoughts because I was so worried about that it would never go away. And so when I started then with to study with Simon Borre Olivier as my teacher, he said just this very simple principle. I tell the story every time, but he put his hand on my belly and told me to relax my abdomen. And very symbolic, right, of how much tension I was carrying. And so I tried to
mm,
relax. And he's like, "No, but try to relax a little bit more." And still, I was doing my best effort to relax my abdomen, so really my core, and it was still rock hard. And so it took me almost 6 months to a year to reprogram my body to soften up. And that process of softening up also led, well, first of all, my back pain for over like 15 years, poof, disappeared. My knee problems disappeared. But also, I found that there was so much more within myself. Uh, that nourishing relationship that we can have with our body will take us so much further compared to pushing ourselves, the no pain, no gain type of approach. And there was so much beauty in it. And that's what I have been exploring. So over the past years, rest, um, moving in a way that does not exhaust me, training in a way that I think it's fun. Yoga practice should be fun. Movements should be fun. So I don't go to the gym and train glutes just because I want to have a nice juicy bum. No, like let's move the whole body together, and we all need to find whatever is enjoyable and pleasurable, right?
Mm.
And so I found my combination of physical practices, somatic practices, and more mental awareness.
Mhm.
And rest is definitely part of those because I realized over the years that that is what we need. We need to rest and it is okay. But at the beginning, of course, the mind is pushing through. So you're trying, the body is still trying to rest and the mind is going, okay, but you could do this. You could take the phone and do a little thing. You could take up this and send this little email. Oh, you could fix the podcast that you recorded yesterday. And all these things. And so the biggest process is on taking care of those thoughts and just calming them down and thinking, no, this is now the time where we're just resting. We're doing recreational activities. You can maybe write a little bit. You can be creative. I have a coloring book. Let's color. Let's paint, listen to music or sing, but no performing activities.
That's so wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that story because that's what I also notice with a lot of manifestors is their relationship with rest is important that they
Mm.
decondition from go, 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 go. It's just incredible how much the body was, oh, wow.
Yes.
I'm trying to be a generator. I really am. Now you're like, nah, rest is good. Rest is, I mean, generators need, everybody needs rest. Don't get me wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah. I think as well, when we honor the rest, that's when the creative juices come, don't you reckon?
Absolutely. 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 That's because that's the state where we can actually be creative. But we cannot be creative when we're all tensed up and projected to performance, to the musts. The
Mm,
creativity comes when we are in this softness, in this flow, in this openness, and then it can just flow in.
that's right. Yeah. It's not, I think we're kind of taking the oxygen out of our creativity when
Oh,
we're just wound up, aren't we? You know, nothing can
yes. Mm.
survive. It's not a
I want to take a moment to talk about something truly special and close to the heart. Miele Strega, my own line of natural handmade body products. And as you know, I am passionate about moving with ease and feeling good in our bodies, and that extends to what we put on our skin. Each batch of Miele Strega products is crafted with love, for real, by me, using ingredients from my very own beehives and my darling bees, combined with the pure botanicals. Whether it's a soothing, luxury whipped body butter, a nourishing lip balm, or a gentle soap, everything is designed to support your body's natural rhythm, just like the practices we explore here. If you're looking for skincare that's pure, it's intentional and deeply connected and aligned to nature, check it out at mielestrega.com. And because you're a listener, I've got a special gift for you. Use the code SYNERGY10, spelled with Y and Y, for 10% off your first order. Now, back to our conversation.
And that leads me to think, so reconnecting to dreams, I guess also when we are more relaxed, we dream more. Because some people say, no, but I never dream. But is that really true? Do we all dream? Or is it so that some people dream more than others, or you just don't remember? How is it? And when do we dream?
Yeah, that's right. We usually remember the ones that we had just before waking up, but we have many, many, many dreams throughout the night, and it will be at various sleep stages. Usually, the REM sleep stage is the dreaming stage, but we're actually always dreaming, even when we're awake.
My
And so there is always, if I were to say to you right now, if you were to close your eyes and take yourself to a field,
God.
and in that field, let an animal come to that field
Mm,
and just allow what happens happen. Allow the scene to open up and notice how you interact with this animal and what else happens. We can paint a whole world and a whole story with just a very simple suggestion.
mm. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that is never, it's if you can you I don't know if you have these moments, but when you're falling off to sleep at night, when you're more very connected to your dreams, when you're falling off to sleep at night, you'll just have what we call is hypnagogic images. So just like millions of images just kind of coming at you all the time. Just
Yeah.
as you yeah. This is the dream life's waking up, starting, but it's not far from the surface. It's really, really close. And so we're always dreaming. And yes, everybody dreams. But like you pointed to earlier, the people sometimes say that they're not dreaming or they can't remember their dreams. And that might be because they are not connected to their internal space. They're not tuned in, so to speak. They're not on that, they don't have that streaming service yet. But everybody can get that streaming service. And it's just a matter of intentionally saying to yourself, tonight, I will remember my dream. And before waking up, before opening your eyes, before getting up to go to the toilet, before reaching for your phone, definitely, just stay in the dream space. And even if you just remember like a feeling, or you remember there was somebody in your dream that you remember, like you haven't seen for years. Why would that? And then just keep thinking about it. And by now you might be really busting to go to the toilet. So you can get up and go to the toilet, but you've made this connection and you can then continue to go back to that. And what was happening? And then you can just start journaling or you can start talking. And once you bring your dream alive, the dream's like, oh, she's listening. Okay, let's
Mm.
go. Let's go. And then get ready for a barrage. Barrage of dreams once it opens. I mean, that's what happens for me. I'll get like a barrage of dreams and then I'm like, I can't keep up with all of this. Especially like you're just thinking, wow, what is all of this? Um, so they'll go quiet on me. Or whether it's me going quiet on them,
Oh.
like I put up a little bit of I need to cancel my subscription for for a minute, but then I'll tune back in. Or if something's happening with me, if there's some movement happening, there might be some dreams that start occurring again. But yeah, we're always dreaming. What was your animal
Mm.
and how did you connect? What happened in your little story just then?
What is it called? What is it called in English? A Bambi.
Dear.
A deer. Yes.
Oh, dear.
a bit very where I produce my products, there are fields, and there's always like a family of deers. So my mind brought me there. Just came one, and then the whole family came.
Hmm. So beautiful.
Can you like a 30 seconds explanation on the function of dreams? And then we're gonna start closing up.
Ooh, 30
Oh,
seconds.
my goodness.
30 seconds. I can do this. I can do this. Function of dream. Many people have different beliefs around what our dreams are, and no one has really come to a conclusion and said, that's it, that's what it is. So we have my idea of what it could be is the psyche. So my psyche expressing something for me that I need to look at. But also people believe that the dreams are connected with something bigger than us and they're sending messages. So the Aboriginals, the Indigenous people of Australia, that's how they would learn about their environment. They would all gather around and talk about their dreams. And that's how we got messages from God or the universe or what.
Mm.
The way I use it and the function that I have for it is just supporting people with what's happening really underneath.
Thank you. I think that on this note, on there is something bigger than ourselves, and we're living in it. We're being held by it, and the connection between that bigger picture, that bigger energy, force, plan, scheme, and then our actions as individuals. There's so much to say about that. And that's very
Mm.
fascinating. Our role, and then really trying to find that connection between ourselves and the purpose of our lives, connecting to that bigger purpose. I think that's a beautiful way to close up this episode.
That's a big way to
Well,
close.
my goodness. Next for
Give me
part
that.
two. Would you like to say a closing note on that?
A closing note. Oh, I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to know our purpose and know what we're doing and do the work. And what does that mean? And, because in my dreams, I can be quite aggressive. I actually have murdered people in my dreams and things like that. I really bring the anger out. I did tell you, I warned you at the beginning, I'm an aggressor. And so, yeah, like you say, this beacon of light. And in my dreams, I'm killing people. So I think it's beautiful because although people see my light, I am very dark, but it's because I am integrating with my darkness that I can shine the light, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're kind of exploring ourselves and feeling like, oh my goodness, what is that? And I've got to do the work and oh gosh, it's too much. And at the end of the day, I think acceptance is something that we need to practice, like with acceptance of ourselves and acceptance of where we are in our life and who we are and what we're navigating and how we did that. And just coming back to accept and what life is throwing at us, the more we can just accept and be, I think you find your purpose along the way, you know, regardless of feeling like you need to get life figured out because I'm sorry, honey, but life you. You're not figuring out what life has got in store for you. So just accept and love and be with what's here. It's all meant to be. It's all meant to be.
Thank you so much, Lucy. What a beautiful way to start the day for me and close the working day for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me
Oh,
on. And I look so forward to getting you on my podcast.
yes. Quickly, how can people connect with you? What are your programs and your podcast so people can connect and learn more about your work?
When will this podcast be out?
Either this week or next week.
Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, so they can connect with me most on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most. Um, and of course, my website is lucyellis.com.au and they can explore my pages there. I have a Heart Cave membership where it's a membership for women, and we inside that Heart Cave are doing all of this work. So dream work, human design,
Mm.
inner child, yeah, beautiful connections that we have, weekly connections. And then I've got an advent calendar that I'm doing for the December. And so that is 10 minutes every day to come back to you, to stay grounded, to stay with an open heart, all of the stuff that I was just exploring, but just little 10-minute pockets of it, so that you can just have your little connection with self. Because, I really think I've drilled that home enough. Being with you is really important
Mm.
to help you be more and be the best you want to be on the outside. So I've just designed this little advent calendar for mums and women that need to yeah, give themselves that. So if it's still November and you're listening to this podcast, you can come on in and get that. And if you come onto my Instagram for 5 seconds, there'll be links and comment this word and all sorts of other things going on there. It won't take you long to find the link for that.
Amazing. Advent calendar with Lucy. Something you don't want to miss. Oh, thank you so much, Lucy. This was brilliant. So much knowledge that you share with us. Thank you so much.
Mm. Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you on mine soon.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Synergy Podcast. I hope this conversation sparked something within you, a new way of thinking, feeling, or moving. If you love this episode, let me know. Share it, leave a review, or connect with me on Instagram at mielestrega. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out my yoga offerings, come to a yoga class at the studio, and check out my handmade natural body products at mielestrega.com. Remember, your body is yours, your pleasure is yours, and living pain-free is possible. Until next time, move with ease and live with joy.